I actually had to go to a specialist in Calgary, get wrist surgery. He said he'll never play basketball again. And I told him, I just won a tournament last weekend with a cast, doing layups, passing, everything. I was actually starting, so I actually won a tournament that. So I'm lucky I'm still able to play basketball.
Yeah, she just committed to the University of Detroit Mercy, which is a Division 1 school. Yeah.
That is huge. I'm sorry, Name, but if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little cat that keeps popping up behind Name's right shoulder.
Welcome to the War Scouts Basketball Podcast with Mike and Name. I'm one of your hosts, Name Cardinal, as usual. I'm here with my bro, Michael Swampy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Professor, soon to be Professor Name Cardinal?
We'll see about that.
Ha ha.
Yeah, we're on a new platform, so we're figuring things out. Had to change from StreamYard. It was costing way too much. Their fees went up. We're not crowdsourced, so or have sponsors. Any sponsors? Just kidding. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a solid month.
Yeah, it's been good. We've been able to catch up on a bit of some NBA basketball that's been coming up here. School season is in full effect now for high school basketball, and you and I are in full effect now just in our jobs, and I think things have sort of settled down now,
Yeah,
which is nice.
yeah, glad to hear. Yeah. So I went to the gym once to shoot this week, which was like something I haven't done in months, and months. Went during my lunch break, just went down to the gym on campus and just shooting for like half an hour. Got a nice sweat going.
That's
Yeah.
that's a huge benefits of working at a university campus.
Yeah.
You
It,
get
it's not free though. That's the thing. Like I gotta pay a drop-in fee. It's like,
what?
yeah, it's $9 for staff.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Uh,
yeah.
in
So
Korea, we like to say that's jamox, bro.
no comment.
You're like, do you know what land you're on right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I went to have a shoot. I got a nice sweat in. It was actually like pretty decent workout. I um got warmed up with some ball handling drills for like 10 minutes. Did a little form shooting workout for like 10 minutes, and then I did like I legit did drills for like the next 15 minutes after that 20 minutes.
Oh, that's sick. Back in my previous job being a phys ed teacher, shooting around, I always used to do the Steve Nash drill. You ever see
Hmm.
that one? Where
Yeah,
it's,
that's a good one.
yeah, just start out layups and then slowly work your way back, work your way out towards the three-point line and see how many times you can get your makes up.
Yeah. And while I was shooting, the head coach of the men's basketball team, Clay, came walking by. There's like a little track going around the top. And he was like, settle down. Just kidding. Didn't. But he just walked by and said hello, but shout out to Clay.
Did he actually say settle down?
No, 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 no. He just said hello, but I just give him a shout out.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
never settle down.
yeah, that's right. Before we get started, I just wanted to, speaking of settle down, we've been trying to post a little bit more videos on our YouTube account. So if you're listening, please like and subscribe. Head to our YouTube page. That's where we post majority of our shorts and reels and that sort of stuff. If they're really good, then maybe we'll post them to the Instagram account or TikTok and that sort of thing. But yeah, most of our content lives on YouTube. So if you get a chance, head to at War Scout Pod on YouTube. And we have 109 subscribers now. And
Nice,
we're
nice.
we're closing in. Name, get this. We have in our lifetime as a podcast close to 10,000 views on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Wow. Oh, getting closer to monetization.
No, no, no. We're miles away from monetization. I think we need 500 subscribers to at least make like $3 for a video.
All right. So our last episode that we recorded together, we interviewed Dennison, aka
Hmm.
Tenny, local basketball player here. Just wondering if you had any reflections on that episode or the interview that we did.
Give people a little bit of a background. Like when we did the interview, Tenny was just like just so outstanding in terms of how she uh, like just in general communication with her. Like it was so cool, so neat just to meet like an upstanding individual like who she was. And then during the interview, unfortunately on my end, my computer was lagging, so I think like the last 15 minutes of that interview, I'm like dead quiet, and that's because I lagged every single time. So like name would say something during Tennyson's conversation, so the feed was going off. It ended up being a deal breaker for us from our last streaming platform that upped its charges, so we can't
Yeah.
we ended our contract with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you don't know this, but Mike is a superb editor, and you wouldn't have known that he interrupted the conversation several times because of that lag.
Yeah, it
He's
did.
like, guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And we were like, what?
And then and then I rewatched the recording because the recording sends back what you guys all see. And then I would interrupt your conversations and then you guys would be quiet and then there would be dead silence for the longest time because on my end somebody's still talking. And so it was real quiet. And then name finally said something and then I was like, "Oh, I thought you guys were talking." Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, it ended up being thankfully nobody noticed, so that's good.
Yeah, and it really was a great interview. Tenny is a fantastic interviewee and was able to share her story very well. It was honestly like great to have her on the podcast because I see her on campus. I get to see her play sometimes, and like she's also having a heck of a season if you haven't been able to see. But really, really happy that she was able to come on here and share her story with us.
That way. And like and share just some of the little tidbits for NAIG because I know in NAIG the pin trading was crazy, but I didn't realize how intense it actually was. Like there was a CBC article on how crazy the pin trading was.
Yeah, that was
Now,
that was such a cool story.
yeah, and like I remember when I went to NAG, people would often trade jackets and that sort of thing. We had Team Alberta jackets that last time I went was like Denver in '06 or something, a long time ago. But I gave my jacket away and I got a New Mexico jacket.
Yeah, when I went to NAIG in 2008, like I think I got like the leftovers of like the team gear, and I got like a like double XL stuff. It was just like hanging off me.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
then after Tenny went live, we had our interview with her. We also went live with our good buddy Gordon Naylor, and we happened to make some picks.
How they looking?
The picks, I will say, for the most part, I think we did relatively good. Our top four teams we had chosen was Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, for the West, and then the East we had Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. So those top four are actually relatively still in good, decent shape. Now, the two Eastern Conference teams that we thought were going to finish third and fourth, even me when I was making these picks was kind of iffy just because of the age of the teams. So in the East, we chose Milwaukee Bucks and the 76ers. Both teams are just having horrendous starts to their season, especially the 76ers. I thought they were going to be much better, and I was hoping that Embiid would at least be, somewhat healthy and hungry, especially after the Olympic run. Would definitely was not the case for sure. It might have been all his butt sniffing free throws that he's been taking this season. I don't know. Yeah, and then Milwaukee has just been a huge disappointment with Doc Rivers at the helm. Now I hate to like obviously throw Doc under the bus or anything, but in any case, I don't know, something's just not right. It obviously doesn't help that, Chris Middleton's injured, Giannis got injured for a little bit. Like they're obviously facing some injury woes, but yeah, I think for the most part we made good picks. We definitely didn't see Cleveland going on a 14-0 start, being the top team in the East,
Wild.
but yeah, we had Cleveland finishing in the 5-6. So only time will tell. Name
Yep.
check back in June.
Yeah. Boston put them back in their place,
That's right. They did
brought them down to earth.
with basketball sicko and I would say psycho Joe Mazzulla. Have you seen some of his post-game interviews?
A few from last year, but not lately.
And lately it's just like all basketball, straight basketball. And like one of the reporters asked him like, "Oh, do you like the new Boston Celtics, what are they called? The City Edition jerseys?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you think of the new City Edition jerseys?" And he's like, "Oh, I love them." She was like, "What do you love about them?" That they say Boston on them. This guy's all business.
Yeah. Isn't it like kind of crazy that they like I know their last coach kind of left in a like scandalous situation, but like they went from like one like awesome coach to another.
Hmm.
Like yeah.
From Ime Udoka.
Hmm.
And Ime, well, Joe Mazzulla was learning from Ime at that time. And
Yeah.
Ime had learned from Greg Popovich prior to that. So yeah, the coaching tree runs deep. Also, not that we're going all over the place, but you know, obviously you want to think about Greg Popovich. He just recently had a stroke in his coaching, so hopefully all is well as there. All is well on his end, and he becomes healthy, but he's getting to an age where retirement is definitely a viable option.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know him personally, but just from what I've seen of him on TV and interviews and read of him, seems just like a hell of a person.
Hmm. Yeah, tap away. And then one other team that we definitely did not see um, being a top team is the LA Lakers.
Oh yeah.
JJ
Yeah.
Redick.
Oh yeah. The JJ Redick effect. More than a podcaster.
Yeah, it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
He's got LeBron and AD playing top tier basketball, and what is he, 40 years old, 39 years old,
Yeah.
whatever. And AD is top three in scoring right now. So finding ways to utilize those two and put them in situations where they're successful is kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you think this is like the year that if they're gonna win another championship, this is the year they gotta do it? Or what do you think?
It will be tough, man. The West is so stacked because they would still have to play against Anthony Edwards, Minnesota, and Shea, Gilchrist, Alexander, OKC. Not only that, but you have a loaded Phoenix Suns team with KD, Booker, and then the former champs in Denver Nuggets, and then Luka Doncic and Kyrie. Like
Yeah, that's
I
deep.
just I just listed five teams that could very well win the title this year.
Yeah.
It's crazy how loaded the West is.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
and then the Warriors and Steph
oh
Curry.
yeah.
Like they're playing phenomenal ball as well. Naylor just messaged me today talking about how like if there was a time for the Warriors to win, it would be this year as well because they have some aging stars on their team, and if they win the championship, I think that puts Curry in the GOAT conversation a little bit.
Mhm. I think so. Is that the Lindsay Waters, the third effect, or what?
That's right. Yes. He's getting a lot of burn. He's getting a lot
Yeah,
of run in Golden
yeah,
State. It's
yeah.
huge.
Did I say Lindsay? I meant Lindy.
Lindy, yeah. Lindy
Yeah, come
Water
on the
third.
pod, Lindy. Come on the pod.
Yeah. Yeah, we know we know you're listening, Lindy. We know it. You've liked our stuff a few times. Ciao.
Yeah, we also want to thank all the listeners of our podcast. We're coming up on a year since we started. It'll be a year in January. But yeah, we've had a lot of people more than I expected to listen, more downloads than I expected. We've had 839 total downloads. And our most popular episode is episode one, because I wouldn't settle down.
I think that for the most part, people treat it like a series. I don't know. They always want to
Mhm.
start at the beginning.
Yeah, good to go back to the start. I bet like our like podcasting and like speaking style has changed so much since then.
Oh yeah, big time. I feel like we were we were almost too structured at the beginning. We didn't want to make a mistake.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. There was a lot of planning that went into that first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like this one. Holy, we're just rushing, trying to get things together. Well, I was. You were just waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have planned this a couple days ago, but yeah, that first episode, like we Mike and I used to meet once a week for like an hour and a half or so to plan an episode before we actually recorded. So it was like, a couple nights a week we were talking online and stuff because Mike is in Leduc, I'm in BC in Kelowna. So we were meeting online to plan to meet online to record. So it was yeah, it was a bit of
hmm
work at the start.
Yeah. But now once you if anybody's thinking about starting a podcast, once you kind of get in the flow of things, it just becomes, I don't know, you become a little bit more comfortable and where you can just literally press start and hop right to it.
And all of you listeners out there, most of you are using Spotify to listen to us.
Is that right? Is it
Yep.
Spotify? That's like
Yeah.
one of our, wow, I didn't
It
even think about
for
that.
46% of our listeners are listening to us on Spotify.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Top device is iPhone. But yeah, I just want to thank you for all the listening over the last 11 months, I guess, since January. And we need to figure out what to do for that one year anniversary. If you have any ideas, shoot us a message on our social media or email if people still email.
Yeah. Social media and our social media accounts across everything is just War Scout Pod, eh? I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're
It's
watching on YouTube, it's just right above my head, just like that.
yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah. So we'll figure that out. I also started a new Instagram account that is attached to our War Scouts podcast Instagram account. Just if you want to follow me, feel free. Thing is, it got suspended.
Are you gonna tell the people why?
Yeah. Oh, well, the reason why I got suspended is because Instagram thinks that I used an app to build followers. And it said like it that goes against the guidelines of the app. So they suspended me for a week.
Name told me this, and I immediately said, "Well, did you?"
No, no. I made one post and then like because a lot of the people from our War Scouts podcast were following me. Like I followed them and then they followed me back, plus a lot of our friends. So it probably thought that I used some kind of app to gain my followers that quickly. It was like 100, well, 100, like over 100 followers in a day.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I also did the same thing, but I don't think I had you know, the Indigenous rookie cards type of following on that account. Yeah. My progress was a little slower.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to town following people the day I made it.
Name just has a iPhone farm under in his basement.
Yeah.
Just hundreds of phones.
Yeah.
Like, follow, follow,
Yeah.
follow.
And we got a pretty good response from the Instagram reel you made, the one with Paul Sir where we were talking about coaching.
Yeah, when I was going back and some of our videos, just thinking about kind of content we want to do, and I was thinking about the upcoming year for basketball season. November is a big start for high school sports and university sports, so I went back to our interview with Paul Sir, and there was a really good conversation that you and Paul had just in terms of what basketball has done for you in your life. And then Paul kind of went into just sort of what kind of hard work goes into coaching basketball
Mhm.
and the thankless hours that are involved. And I don't know, I just thought that was a very important piece that for some reason we missed in terms of
Yeah.
sharing. And so I shared it for sure. But there's a lot of moments I think that we need to go back and really highlight because there is some serious conversations that you and I have had with just you and I or with other guests that I think needs to come to light. And so, yeah, I'll be trying to, sift through our content because the stuff that we do talk about is important, and I think people really need to hear it for sure.
Yep. Also shout out to Mike because Mike is he's our executive producer. He's also our editor. And yeah, he does all this like social media stuff and the video editing, all that good stuff that makes this podcast happen. So big shout out to Mike.
Like,
You're getting a raise, buddy.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
I just paid for this new platform we have.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of yeah, ins and outs of podcasting and trying to do this stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, I was just like I totally forgot about that conversation I had with Paul too. And then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that was a good conversation. Like it
Hmm.
just yeah, it made me think about like impactful coaches in my life and like also like all the hours that go into coaching because like you're not just like running a practice or like managing games like it's it's practice planning, it's like film study, you're watching videos on YouTube to like look up new drills
Hmm.
to bring to practice because you want to like help the players out, but you're also like mentoring too. It's just like countless hours, and you're
Yeah,
just right. Like if you have a family, like your family is sacrificing too.
yeah, absolutely. There's you sort of don't realize how much work actually goes into even just like, well, high school level basketball. And so you're always trying to be, as a coach, proactive. And so you always try to do the stuff that's necessary in practice to prevent something that may have happened in the previous games.
Yeah,
Whether it's learning a new press break or learning how to press or finding open cutters, I don't know, in an offense, etc. So like, yeah, there's a lot of thinking, a lot of time involved, and absolutely shout out to all the coaches that are in the thick of it right now. I know that a lot of tournaments happen in the first few weeks of December, right before the break, for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, that conversation with him sparked a memory for me. And like back when I was at Concordia, we had a coach, Dan Skeppel. He was assistant coach with the team, and he would open up the gym for us at 6:30 a.m. in the morning to come and do work with us. And oftentimes I was the only one that showed up, but he was there like at the gym at 6:30 so that he
Hmm.
could, spend time helping us and like oftentimes it's just helping me. So that's like stepping away from his family in the morning so early to come and like give his time. And it's made me think about that and like how thankful I was. And thanks, Coach Skeppel.
Well, yeah, well, Skeppel and all the other coaches that are out there doing that right now. Shout out to uh, shout out to you, absolutely.
And yeah, we just want to give a shout out right now to Cameron McMaster. Okay, Cameron is playing at Orangeville Prep right now.
Oh wow.
And yeah, she just committed to the University of Detroit Mercy, which is a Division I school in the US,
Holy
NCAA
smokes.
Division I.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, yeah. They play in the Horizon League mid-major conference, but that's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
That is huge. I'm sorry, name, but if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little cat that keeps popping up behind Name's right shoulder.
Is there?
Or-
Oh, uh,
Oh, he kind of just appears out of nowhere. Okay, sorry. But yeah, no, Div 1 school, that's amazing.
congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Are
this
we going
cat.
back to our shout outs?
We should. We
Yeah,
should.
I think we should. Falling off a little bit in terms of giving people the shout outs. If you want a shout out, email us, send us a message, we'll shout you out.
All right. So earlier you mentioned Satina tournament, Stanley J. Big Plume Memorial.
Of course I'm going. Yes, what kind of question is that? The training has begun, name, like we were
Nice.
saying.
Nice.
Yeah, no, this is a big tournament. I think last time they hosted it was it November of last year? I think they last hosted it. So different time change, but nonetheless, it's going to be a big one. A lot of teams, some teams from the States come up and play. Um, when they, you know what? I'm trying to think back when they hosted it. Was it was it in January or February?
And
Or-
I remember it being really cold though. It was like
Yes.
minus 40 some, and you were starting your car like an hour before you left to the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Going to be an awesome tournament. Hopefully we can get Waylon to come on and talk a little bit about it in the next few weeks. And yeah, it should be a good one. We got a lot of good teams here.
Who are you playing for? NBA?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be
Okay.
playing for ENBA again. Our team tries to honor the late Alan Ross and sort of what he's done for Edmonton basketball, Edmonton native basketball. And so yeah, we I'm hopping on with Dusty LeGrand and ENBA. Should be fun. Should be a good one.
They asked me to play,
And
and I was legit going to, but then I realized that's the same weekend as my son's hockey tournament in Revelstoke, so I can't
oh
come. That's
yeah.
why I started running and like going to the gym and stuff. You saw on the app all
Yeah,
those
oh yeah, yeah.
miles I was running.
Oh, believe me, I saw a name. Get the notifications every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I really wish you could come out because it says even if you don't finish, in the top three or whatever, in the money, whatever, it's still good basketball to come out and watch. Yeah, like there's gonna be some. Kainai always has a really good team. Shout out Colin Bird. He has the Huskies. Their team is always really, really solid. And then even like the family team that Waylon puts together, they're always a really good team. And then the teams from Montana always finish in the top half of the bracket. And then you have some teams from Winnipeg that are really strong. I'm trying to see if the returning champs are
Was
there.
it was it land ties? No.
Yeah, I think it was Lanties.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this tournament last year on the pod.
And they had Ronnie Battle. Ronnie Battle is just if you don't know who that is, he's a name on the res ball circuit. He plays all over the place. He plays from, northern BC all the way down to New York and Texas ball, Oklahoma, wherever. Where if there's a res tournament, he's probably going to be there.
Yeah, don't know Ronnie Battle. Get to know Ronnie Battle.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we played against them last year, and we put up a relatively decent fight. We had a really good, solid team, and we still ended up losing by 20 or so.
oh.
Yeah, just of how good they are.
Yeah, that would have been like a tough tournament for me to get back into for my first tournament in like 5 years. Like, yeah, last time I played was Lytton. That was the last tournament I played in.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's been some time.
would have been tough, but see how I would have done. Well, it gives me a little bit more time to train and get ready for the next one. On the ladies' side, there's some tough teams in there. That Res Coast team is always it's always tough.
Yeah, from BC. Do you know if friend of the pod, guest of the pod, Jade, is she going to be playing? Is that
No,
who she's
she's
playing for?
no, as far as I know, she's playing college
Oh, right.
basketball right now for
That's right.
Okanagan College. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, her and Jasmine. So those are like two like core players from that Similkameen team.
And that's the downside with res ball happening during the winter is a lot of the really good, solid players are going to be playing university ball.
Yeah. That's why like end of March, beginning of April, that's when they all come out. The talent steps up a bit.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just looking at the list here, Creefoot, and it says Michaela,
Hey, Michaela Allen.
the pro player.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
who played in Germany? Yeah. She's going to be
Yeah.
playing, I imagine.
Yeah. I imagine they'll be tough too.
Yeah. Creefoot, those girls are really good. They always finish in top of the tournaments. And um, yeah, Michaela, she'll be playing. I imagine some of their other players, Janelle, and I'm forgetting some names, but yeah, like really good solid players for Creefoot. Kainai is always a really good solid team. Star, she has a really good team heading there. And then you have some US teams, like quite
Yeah,
a few US.
Jenna Plumley, Lady Ballers, drop some trade bombs.
I'm wondering if Robin is heading heading there, Sutina. Or sorry, if Robin Belanger is heading
Oh yeah, yeah.
to Sutina.
Yeah, she might be a ringer for somebody.
Yeah, another
Should
guest of the
ask.
pod.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good tournament. Holy man. Should we head over to the interview?
Yeah, I think so.
Legendary Truman Soop.
Oh, Dante Kakiao. As you can see, we don't have a name cardinal joining us today. That's okay. He just had to run out. But coming up, we have a wonderful guest. We have the one and only, we have Truman Soop coming up. And Truman is a member of the Kainai Blood Tribe, part of Blackfoot Confederacy, and is former hooper at the University of Alberta Augustana campus. And he is also the creator of a massive basketball club in his home community and a coach for many youth. He just recently won gold for his U19 boys at the North American Indigenous Games, and he is also a recent defender of his titles in basketball, volleyball, slow pitch, ball hockey, athletics, hang games, and the anti-toss at the Masters Alberta Indigenous Games. We bring to you the very own Truman Soop. Truman, how we doing? Let's see. Let's see if I can get you on here. Hey, oh, look at this guy. There we
Oh, hey,
go.
how's it going there, Swampy? It's been a while. Oh, just 1 second. Let me take these off.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Oh,
Is the anti-toss medal in there? I think
what
is
was
the
that?
is the anti-toss medal in there?
Oh yeah, that's they're all gold medal anti-toss medals.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Truman, we first of all, I just want to say thanks for coming on. It's always important to have individuals like yourself coming on and just giving us a bit of insight as to who you are and what sort of amazing things you've been doing for your home community and the Blood Tribe in Kainai. One of the things that we like to do with our guests is understand their story and where they started out with the game of basketball and whereas the game of basketball just sort of how has it led you to where you are today?
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, Swampy. It's known you for quite a while now. Played with you, against you. I think I have
Absolutely.
more wins than against you right now, so I'm just throwing that out there. I'd have to say my the love of basketball probably started when I was like, I would say grade five, grade six. I used to had a ball and I dribbled that ball everywhere. So it was like a 15, 20-minute walk to school. I dribbled that ball nonstop. And so I just loved it's just a game you could play by yourself, play with your friends. So I've been playing basketball since about that age. And yeah, even to this old, like I'm 41, turning 42 in a couple weeks here. And I still play, like I still play 4 times a week at the Y. I'm still playing against 20-year-olds, still playing in tournaments. Looking forward to Stan's tournament next month. So,
Yeah.
or 2 months. Yeah.
In January. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that basketball, I think, as you get older, it's just a method or a way to just stay in shape. It's,
Yeah.
it's better than running outdoors. It's funner playing basketball and playing an actual game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I love the game of basketball and it takes all your worries away while you're playing. Nothing else matters. It's just good for the soul, good for the heart. It's just good all around.
So Name always shares this story of when he like Wayne's World is showing off the products in the background.
Yeah.
Name always tells a story about how he used to always go for jogs and run with the basketball until
Yeah.
somebody yelled at him from a balcony and told him, "Settle down."
Yeah.
Um, so obviously at a young age you kind of realize that basketball was something that you could pursue and be really good at. And come time when you finished your high school career, you attended Augustana. And both of us being Augustana alumni, you played 2 seasons of ACAC basketball in '01 all the way to '03. And then we just want to know what was it about Augustana that made you want to play there? And were there other schools that were trying to recruit you?
Well, the reason why I chose Augustana was I actually, well, I don't know, I have kind of a little bit of a heartbreaking story, but when I was in grade when I was in grade 10, I actually ended up losing my sister. So
Oh,
then I don't know, my family dynamic kind of fell apart there. And so that's when I was really kind of isolated myself, playing ball a lot. But when I was in grade 10 and 11, you know Barney Provost.
mm,
He's an older gentleman. He was going to school at Augustana. And I was he would always see me playing, so he'd come back home and he saw me play when I was in grade 10, grade 11, and he thought I had talent. He took to me, kind of became an older brother, and he actually brought me up. So actually when I was in grade 12, I actually graduated from Camrose Composite High School. So that was where that's where I graduated from high school.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so actually I was 16 years old living with Barney
Wow.
Provost. So 16 years old living with Barney. So 16 years old living on my own, still going to school in Camrose Composite High School, and then from there I met our coach, the Augustana coach, and I went to the ID camp after my high school year, and then that's when he told me to come try out. So I actually tried out for the team. I wasn't guaranteed a spot. I tried out, and I was actually given a red shirt spot. So my
Mm.
first year, they said, "Okay, well we'll give you a red shirt spot." So then I was redshirting, and we had preseason teams. So we had some preseason tournaments, preseason games, and I actually did extremely well during the preseason tournaments and games. And he actually bumped me up from a red shirt to gave me a spot on the team. And one of the people they actually recruited and brought in, they actually bumped him from an actual spot and put him as a red shirt. So we kind of switched around. So that's why I ended up going to Augustana for 2 years. And yeah, so that was my story for why I ended up there and how I ended up there.
Wow. That's, when I almost had the exact same, other than obviously having to grow up pretty quick and living on your own with the soon to be teammate and Barney. But
Hmm.
yeah, I was also a red shirt, and like same exact thing happened. Is I wasn't guaranteed a spot. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
if there's any like young area listeners out there, if you're offered that red shirt spot, you don't know what's going to happen. There could be injuries, there could be anything. You
Yeah.
could play out of your mind, like Truman just said, and
Yeah, because I barely made the team. Like I was totally fine with red shirting. I just wanted to play college basketball. That's just
mhm.
my heart's always been into basketball, and I was just so happy I even got offered that red shirt spot. But yeah, I just played phenomenal during preseason and actually got bumped up to actually getting a spot on the team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge. And at that time, you guys had a pretty solid team.
Yeah,
Um,
that I think we my first year was Barney's last year. So that first year we actually went to Final Four
Whoa.
and we lost to Nate by 3 points. So we went to Final Four at Sate, and we ended up playing Sate. And so the top two, so number one and number two team out of the Final Four, they actually went to nationals. So
Oh
we
yeah.
played Sate in the quarterfinal, and we lost by 3 points. We lost by three
Oh,
points to them. And so then they ended up playing Nate, and then we went 1-1 with Nate during the regular season. We went 1-1 with them. And Nate actually ended up beating Sate by like 30 points in the championship. So I think during that game, we just gave Sate too much credit and
hmm.
we're almost too cautious, too careful. So we're 3 points away from actually going to national championships in Ontario that year.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had a
Holy.
really good team that year.
Yeah, holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Yeah.
That could be probably Augustana's men's basketball, probably their best finish, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. We actually play. I don't know. Do you know Eddie Richardson the third? He actually runs Edge Prep and he runs Genesis.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We played against him. So, and he
Oh
was all
wow.
Canadian that year. So he was all Canadian for like all of Canada. He was all Canadian and he was playing
Wow.
at State. So yeah, we ended up losing to them by 3 points to go to nationals. So that was pretty heartbreaking.
And and people don't realize how much talent is actually in the ACAC. There's some high level guys that go and play in the ACAC.
Yeah, like well, I think especially now, I think it's a lot harder to make because like it's
Hmm.
not like there's more and more teams. It's exact same amount of teams, and the talent level has just gone through the roof. So making a
Yep.
team nowadays is extremely hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have
especially with the CEBL being in Canada and now guys getting an opportunity to be able to play professionally during the summer. And they
yeah,
allowed ACAC to be involved with the draft. Or it's the CCAA, which is across all of Canada, but the ACAC is
yeah.
part of that. And only one guy made from Alberta, which was a med hack guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head,
Oh yeah,
but but Name wanted me to mention this that you guys were in contention for the league championship, but our good buddy Darcy Lindbergh was your point guard.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
he,
Darcy Lindbergh was our starting point guard that year. He was our starting point guard, and he tore his ACA. He tore his ACL in preseason.
oh
So
man.
yeah, if we had Darcy, it would have been we probably would have would have went to nationals, and we probably would have competed because we were nationally ranked all year that year. Yeah,
Darcy, you hear that? It's just he's moaning and groaning right
yeah,
now that he's
yeah. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of natives that gone through Augustana, like me, you, Darcy
Yep.
Lindbergh, Barney Provost. Yeah, so there's quite a few of us that played at Augustana, which is cool.
Yeah. And then on the women's side, Lauren Cardinal, she's now the coach. She's coaching the women's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, so just thinking about Indigenous basketball, you obviously played in native tourneys all across the country. I imagine you played down south as well in the States.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories? What are some of your best memories of playing res ball?
Oh man, I don't know. I still play res ball to this day and I just love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you get away with that little extra call, a little extra bump, and you run into the uncles and they'll give you a good actually that's starting to be me now, so I can't quite keep up with these kids. So I gotta throw in a little elbow here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I probably my a few fondest memories. We used to play in this one league in Kainai here, and I actually hold the record for the MLBL Moses Lake Basketball League. I scored 76 points one game.
What? Really?
Yeah, yeah. So they actually kept stats and everything. It was a good league. They had like college players and stuff, everything. Yeah. So they had college players, everything. So yeah, I just went on a tear one game, had 76 points. So that's a good memory. Another one was I actually went to play in Lytton. So I didn't know Lytton had a really good tournament every year. So
Oh
my
yeah.
buddy Josh and them, they always went and they always competed. So one year I went and we ended up playing Van City that year, and they had Gene Wolfe, and they had some phenomenal players. And I actually ended up scoring, I think, 48 the first
Whoa.
time. And they're like, "Who's this guy? Where did this guy come from?" And then actually, after I scored 48 that one game, they actually flew me to BC to play in a couple Vancouver tournaments.
No
So yeah,
way.
they're like, yeah. So I got my flights paid for and everything. So I went to a few tournaments out that way to go play ball. So
So
yeah, but
that
no, I love playing native basketball.
so
Yeah.
that would have been like your guys' first time heading down that way, hey, out in Lytton? Because
No, I
obvious.
guess they like they well those guys like Lanny,
Oh yeah.
Josh, all those guys they've gone like they went like 3 4 years like they went for like 4 years. Then finally they invited me. I didn't even know it's like a tiny little town, like
Yeah.
tiny little town, and then they just packed the gym. It was just an awesome tournament, awesome experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
there's like one gas station and one hotel, like maybe two hotels. It's tiny, like a tiny town. But
yeah.
yeah, that gym was just packed, and they're taunting me and yelling at me, so it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big of a tournament was until we were actually in it. I think the
Yeah,
first time I went down with you guys,
yeah. I think
when I
we
went,
played you the one year, and then we played together the year
yeah,
after that. Yeah,
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 and like what's his name? Joey King Handles, he's known as on Instagram.
yeah,
He was there one year. I was like, what the heck?
yeah. So you're allowed one import, one
Yeah.
non-indigenous player, and yeah, they brought some. Some guys bring some pretty unreal players. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's super unfortunate because Name and I talked about this a little bit in previous podcasts, just because they had the wildfire and basically took out their entire town.
yeah. I heard
And
about that.
hopefully, um, hopefully they could bring that 5-on-5 tournament back because I know they were trying to run 3-on-3s and that sort of thing, but
Yeah, they did
nobody.
a couple 3-on-3 fundraisers and stuff like that. But yeah, it would be
Yeah,
good if they had that big tournament again.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to go back and because that not only that, it's a good trip because we come off a long winter and then you go down there and the weather's just beautiful in March and yeah, it's good. So now that obviously uh you can't play as much as you used to and you probably still do play as much as you
Yeah,
used to.
I play about 4 times a week at the Y with the kids. Like there's still a lot of young kids, but I don't hit the long 8 hour, 10 hour drives like I used to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Absolutely.
remember every other week we're driving 8 hours, 6 hours to go play
Oh.
for, and we'd only win like maybe 100, $200 if you win. But yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
travel as far as we could just to play ball.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't hit those far tournaments anymore, but yeah, I still play quite a bit.
And so now you're kind of transitioning into a bit of coaching. What's that kind of been like?
Oh, coaching's been awesome. I've been coaching for I'd say over 10 years now. So 10 years
Okay,
I've been
yeah.
coaching. Yeah, I've been coaching. And then yeah, I coached at the high school. I actually coached my nephew Hayden. He at
Mm.
St. Mike's. And we
Yep.
actually made it to provincials, 1A provincials, and we got third. third in
Hmm.
all of Alberta for provincial. So that was good. I coached my little nephew, and so we won like the grade 9 A League and stuff like that. So, but now I do, for the past 4 years, I've been running Grey Horse basketball. So right now we have 150 kids, over 150 kids, around 14, 15 teams. And I actually was able to secure funding for all these kids. So like our reserve wasn't really helping us out a lot for
Hmm.
funding. And a lot of these kids don't have parents or raised by their grandparents. We have kids that are actually in foster homes, so they don't really have a lot of money and stuff like that. So I actually was able to get out and get money for these kids, and I was able to get money for them, and we went to Vegas and we paid for everything. We paid for rooms, we paid for meals, we paid for travel, we bought them basketballs, we all got these sweaters,
Yeah.
we got them bags, we got them balls. So I was able to secure quite a bit of funding for all our kids. So we went to Las Vegas last year, Calgary twice, went to Edmonton, Lethbridge twice, Cardston 3 times, Sixagas, RC. So I think we hit 13 or 14 tournaments in total last year with Grey Horse
Wow.
basketball. Yeah, so we start in February and we go right until Ag. Ag is our last tournament.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Holy smokes.
in that 4 months, I think we hit 14, 13, 14 tournaments. So it's almost every weekend we're playing.
Did you say how many teams you have?
Well, Ag, we had 13 teams in Ag.
Holy
So
smokes.
Alberta Indigenous Games, yeah. So second week of August, we brought up 13 teams, 150 kids. Yeah.
Wow.
And then same thing, I was able to secure funding for the kids. So we got rooms paid for, meals, travel expenses. So it was awesome.
That's
And actually
huge.
yeah, and the good thing, the thing I'm really proud about is when we went to Ag, we brought up 13 teams, all 13 teams medaled. So
Wow.
we had, so we actually ended up winning 9 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. So it was awesome. So yeah, so we just dominated up there, which is really good. But these kids play all year round. That's the thing. Like they're
Yeah.
really committed, and we have a lot of talent. Yeah,
Yeah, and not only that, but like I don't know what you guys are drinking in the water in Kainai, but you guys like
yeah,
these kids are born and raised to play ball. It almost seems like you guys
yeah.
start them early.
Yeah, because another thing is we call it the multi-purpose. So
Yeah.
it's our gym back home. It's called the multi-purpose right in standoff there, and we actually have 2 courts there. So these kids will come right from school. There's actually buses that go from like Kainai, because the Kainai High School is out in the middle of the country.
Hmm.
So we have buses. So the kids get on the bus in Kainai out in the middle of the country, and they get dropped off at the multi. So they actually have a stop at the multi-purpose. So some of these kids get bused from out in the country where their schools are right to the multi-purpose and standoff, and they start playing. So they'll get there at like 4 o'clock and they'll stay there right till 10 o'clock till
Hmm.
it closes. Yeah. So they're there till from like 4 to 9. And these kids are there every single day playing basketball. Yeah. Because we only practice twice a week, but these kids go every single day just to play ball. Just like I
Yeah.
said, it's an outlet. It gets them away. Like some of them come from hard upbringing. Some of them don't have that family dynamic, or some of them are having troubles at home. So this is a getaway for them. And it also, like Grey Horse basketball, it gives them a sense of community, gives them a sense of pride of where they're from, and gives them an outlet. So that's why a lot of these kids just love basketball, and like I said, they play every single day. Some of these kids.
Yeah, that's so huge. And
Yeah.
like you're saying, that's the importance of having a rec center like within our communities because those become the safe places for these kids.
Yeah.
Just thinking like as a teacher, I always stress the importance of after school programming because, you know, as a teacher, you only get the kids for 7 hours. You know, it's from 8 o'clock until 3 o'clock, whatever, and whatever they do after that 3 o'clock mark is entirely up to the
Yeah.
community. And yeah, a
Yeah,
lot
and
rec.
that's one of the things. That's one of the very important. That's one of the reasons why I also started Grey Horse basketball, because I actually started because my kids and my nephews played. So like
Hmm.
I'd only have like 2 teams, and I bring them to tournaments and stuff. So we only started out with 2 teams, and now, like I said, we're up to 13, 14 teams. But it gives the kids something to do, because the one thing I saw lacking in our community in Kainai was we didn't have any basketball programs.
Hmm.
So the Blood Tribe wasn't really running like these kids. Like we have phenomenal basketball players even before Grey Horse. We had a lot of people that have played college basketball, but we didn't have like a basketball, like no basketball program or anything like that. So then
Yep.
once I started coaching these kids, my nephews and them, then more kids wanted to play, and I didn't want to turn away any kids. So I saw these kids that had love for the game, they had drive, determination. So that's why I started Grey Horse. Now I just keep growing it, and every year we keep getting bigger. So next year, I'm hoping to get like 300 kids next year and actually have like 30 teams, try to get like that many teams. So right now we have one team for like each age group, boys and girls, like U11, U13, all the way to high school. So I
Yep.
want to double that. So instead of having 13 teams, I want to have like 26 teams next year. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
So I'm trying to
Yep.
get in there, trying to keep growing it, trying to keep helping these kids out because, like I said, I'm really passionate about the youth, and I just love seeing these kids play games. I love going to these tournaments, especially like Calgary, because like I said, we had a struggle for funding. So like a couple of years ago, we'd all pile into one van and we'd all be throwing our money together just to get entry fee paid for these tournaments because they're expensive. They're like $600 to
Oh
play in these
yeah.
tournaments in Calgary, like for one weekend, like $600. So we're all struggling to get to these tournaments, and we had like the cheapest, ugliest reversible jerseys, and then we'd actually like we'd play teams from like Yukon. Like I remember we played at Stampede Stomp in Calgary, and we
Yeah.
were just teams from like Yukon. There's teams from BC, and they pull up in charters. They have track suits, the nicest jerseys, and they see this little all these res kids, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna blow them out," and then we actually end up beating them and like winning the championship. And they're just like there's like these other teams. They're like absolutely upset that they got beat by a bunch of res kids with pitiful jerseys, old used
Yeah.
balls. Yeah, so that's why I was really happy to get funding for these kids this year. So now we got nice jerseys, sweaters, stuff. So I'm gonna keep going out trying to get funding for these kids and just keep growing the game because yeah, these kids make me super proud how much
Oh
drive
man,
and determination they have.
that's so cool. And it rivals, I know Indigenous communities love hockey, and so being able
Yeah,
to hopefully provide a different option for kids who don't always play that sport.
yeah.
Yeah, and um, so obviously, like, have you found it difficult to find coaches to be able to organize and run these types of programming? Like,
Well, the
what
one
does
thing,
that
like,
look like?
I'm pretty blessed to have coaches there. Like I said, like as long as like we've had like I founded Grey Horse Basketball, but the reason why Grey Horse Basketball is so good is because I went out and I found very good coaches. So I surrounded myself with good coaches. I
Mhm.
surrounded myself with great parents. So I actually like I founded Grey Horse Basketball, but it wouldn't be as successful as it is without my coaches and without the parents.
Mhm.
Like I said, Grey Horse is like a family, like it's a community. And that's what makes us so good, and that's why we all stick together. Like even like we still like we have a Facebook page, Grey Horse Basketball, and we
Mhm.
post when kids make teams, and we actually go to kids' games, like high school, junior high games, because we can't do Grey Horse during the high school basketball season.
Yep.
So when you play high school ball, you can only play with that team. You can't practice or do anything else. So during once high school basketball's on, like we don't run Grey Horse. We wait until it's over and then we start up. But yeah, we go to all each other's games and we support each other even when we're not doing Grey Horse. So it's awesome.
That's so cool. Is there any athletes within the last couple of years that you think really excelled? Like any success stories as of late for Grey Horse?
I'm actually like super proud because actually this year we actually had 4 kids this year that all made college basketball teams.
Holy smokes.
So yeah, we haven't had a college like we like back in the day we had a lot of college players like myself, Charlton. Like there's a lot of us that played college basketball from Kainai. We haven't
Hmm.
really had any college players for quite a while now. So, but this past year we had 4 people, 4 kids try out for teams, and 4 of them made them. So we have Hayden, Many Gray Horses, my nephew. He's playing with Lethbridge College, and
Oh
it's
wow.
Lethbridge Polytechnic now. So Hayden, Many Gray Horses, he's at Lethbridge College. He played with Gray Horse. Zach, Many Gray Horses, he made Lethbridge College too. So he's there now. Talon Weaselhead, he played with Gray Horse Basketball. He's
Oh
at
yeah.
United Tribes Technical College in the States. And also we have DJ Davis or Holson. He's at I think Northwest Indian College, I think it's called. I
Okay.
can't remember. Yeah. So we have 4 actually college players right now that are out there playing. And
Wow.
actually, just today, this is a coincidence. Actually, just today, I got a call from an ACAC coach, and he wants to meet with me. He's looking for players for the 2025-2026 season. So
Yeah.
he heard about Grey Horse. He heard about our kids making college ball. So we're actually getting college coaches come to me directly and saying, "Hey, we're looking for players for next season, not this
Yep.
year, but next year." So he wants to have a talk and see who we have for talent. So it's amazing. So it's awesome. Like we're doing like Grey Horse is doing really good. And then, like I said, it's just the coaches, it's the parents, it's the kids. It's not just me. So that's what I love about the program.
That's so cool. And now you get to see, the fruits of your labor, this
Yeah.
sort of the hard work that you've been putting in, and you have these college coaches contacting you. Like that's just a symbol of your success. I think like that's
Yeah. So in
so
the past, yeah, it's actually the past month, I've had 2 college coaches come up to me and like they want to see what we have for talent coming up. And we have some amazing players this year. Like, yeah. So we got some really good players playing here. And another thing I really love about Grey Horses, so like there's 1A to 4A basketball. 4A
yep,
is the best basketball in Alberta.
yep,
So like a couple of years ago, there's hardly any native kids from Kainai playing 4A ball. There's a
yeah,
couple, maybe 3, 4. Now we have tons. I would say that we have like maybe 20, 30 kids playing 4A ball. So a lot of kids moved up from that 1A to 4A level. So a lot of our kids are playing 4A ball. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and that's huge. And I know um Kainai, their high school actually like their high school is relatively small, isn't it? It's like a 2A
It's a
level
what?
school.
I think it's 1A.
1A, and
Think I think
didn't
they're
in
1A.
previous years they played up in 4A basketball?
Yeah, they played like I remember Charlton played 3A, 4A, and I think they got third in provincials one year. So I think that was
Wow.
4A when Charlton was there. I think 3A, 4A. They were playing in that league.
So basketball really is like it's
Yeah.
almost like that. There's community Raymond. It's almost like that
Yeah. So yeah,
kind of.
like Raymond. So I think I don't know what the like I say, like 1A to 4A, it's based off the population for your school.
Yeah.
So Raymond is like, I don't know, they only graduate like 20 kids. Like
Hmm.
it's like a 1A school, but they play 4A ball. Same with McGrath. Oh,
Yeah. So like
oh, so I
oh,
lost you there. Oh, there you are.
oh yeah. So like
Yeah.
just just so people are aware, a 1A school is a school population less than 100 students. And then it goes all the way to 4A, and 4A is 900 or like 1,200 and above. So
Yeah.
you have these tiny little schools competing against these massive city schools. And it's actually pretty cool to just to see like to be
Yeah.
able to do that is
Yeah,
huge.
because yeah, in Southern Alberta basketball, I don't know, it's just so huge. Like Raymond, McGrath, they're 1A schools and they play 4A ball and they win 4A titles. Like they make championships. So that's crazy how big basketball is down here.
That's so awesome. So I'm just thinking like so obviously you have students kind of from all over the place. Your community is a rather large community, but have you ever had any like issues with kids in high school in terms of racism? Or do you yourself ever have those type of issues, especially
Yeah,
growing up? Because I'm just thinking like, yeah, just as an indigenous person trying to make it out in this colonial world, I guess.
yeah, yeah. If, actually, this is last week. So last week, one of our players, one of the schools here in Lethbridge, I don't know, one of the coaches or someone on the coaching staff told one of our Indigenous youth, "Oh, you shouldn't try out. You're not even going to be good at, or you shouldn't try out. You're going to get cut."
Oh,
So that's
geez.
what, well, yeah. So I don't know if it was the coach or someone on the coaching staff, but someone from the school told one of our kids from Grey Horse, and he is easily a starter. He can easily make any team down here in Southern Alberta. So he was actually discouraged and told you shouldn't try out. You're just going to get cut. So then I found out from I didn't find out from his parents. I found out from another parent because he told a kid and that kid told his parent and that
Yeah.
parent told me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to that school first thing in the morning. So I actually went to the school at 8 a.m. I sat down with the athletic director and I told him like, that's not how things are worked. That's not how things are handled. I'm not going to tolerate that. Like, you don't do that to our kids. Like we're a community. Like I stick up for these kids.
Hmm.
And so he actually ended up making the team. So he ended up making the team, and actually we got an apology and everything like that. So
Wow.
there is like I don't know when it comes to sports, like it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter your skin color. It shouldn't matter how much money you have. But with sports, there's so much politics. Like especially hockey, you got to know somebody. You have to have money. You have to come from an established family. And that's what really bothers me about sports nowadays is all the politics and stuff like that, racism in sports, politics in sports. So yeah, so I'm really that's what I love about Grey Horse because like with Grey Horse, it doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't matter if you don't have money, you do have money, we'll find money for you. It's just as long as you have a love for the game, as long as you're passionate for the game, then that's why we let the kids play. So it's just all about the kids and all about the youth.
Oh man, that's huge. That's incredibly important, and it just goes to show. I don't know, Truman. I don't mean to like talk too highly of you, but like
No, no, talk it up.
yeah, that's amazing. Like
Yeah.
just to be able to drive out to a school in the middle of the morning and have it out with a coach because obviously it's you hate to see it. It's 2024 and you think that racism and politics don't exist in sports.
Hmm.
They still
Yeah.
do, and it's still
Yeah.
prevalent, and it's so
Yeah, because
unfortunate.
yeah, even last year, like well, it still happens. Like there's a couple girls from Cardston. They definitely should have made the team and they got cut. They
Hmm.
got cut, and then yeah, so it still happens. It still happens with our Indigenous youth. So yeah, it's quite upsetting. So, but the thing I like about Grey Horse is it's giving these kids an opportunity. So last year we had a lot of kids that got cut last year. They actually made the team because of Grey Horse. So there's actually one kid who got cut last year. He should have made the team, and this year he tried out, and I think he got hurt. I think he injured his hand right before tryouts, and he was scared he was going to get cut again. And the coach actually came up to him. He's like, "Oh no, no, you're on the team." He's like, "I saw you play with Grey Horse." It's like, "I saw you play with Grey Horse during the summer." He's like, "You're a great player." He's like, "You're on the team." So he was scared he
Wow.
might get cut again because of his hand. So Grey Horse actually gives these kids an opportunity as well. So because we play
That's
quite a
huge.
bit, like I said, we play quite a bit during the summer, and they're actually getting exposure. So that's
Yeah.
great, great for these kids.
And speaking of the summer, just going back to your coaching a little bit more, U19 boys in NAIG.
Yeah,
Tell us about that experience. What was
yeah.
that
So a
like?
couple, I think 2.5 years ago, I was asked to play. I was asked to coach the U19 boys for team. I was the coach for Team Alberta U19 boys for North America Indigenous Games in Halifax.
Yeah.
So we went there last year, 2003. We went to Halifax, and I was looking at our bracket there. So out of we had 10 players. Well, we had 12 players, but two ended up dropping out, and the two that dropped out were our big guys. They're forwards. So they're actually
Oh,
centers, and
wow.
they're both really good players, and they ended up dropping out last second. So I was kind of worried about our team going to Halifax. Really worried about our team, but we ended up going with 10 players, eight of them from Kainai. So we took 10 kids to Halifax, eight of them from Kainai, and I was pretty worried. So we had kind of a, I wouldn't say weaker pool, but I had a pool that I was thinking you had to be one or two out of your pool in
Yeah.
order to go to a playoffs. So I was thinking, well, we have a chance. We have a chance of winning our pool or coming first or second out of our pool. And we actually ended up being undefeated coming out of our pool. So I was worried like we weren't going to win it. I was worried about winning games and stuff like that. So we actually ended up winning our pool, ended up going undefeated in our pool. And then from there, I was pretty worried because I think we played
Y-
Wisconsin
Yeah, yeah.
coming out of our pool. I think we
Yeah.
played Wisconsin.
Who
Yeah,
was who was in your pool?
in our pool we had Saskatchewan, we
Okay,
had
yes. That would be
Northwest Territories. Trying to think who else we had. I think was it BC or Yukon? I can't remember. Not too sure. I think might have been Yukon. I can't. Not too sure, but yeah, Saskatchewan was in our pool. But yeah, we ended up coming out of our pool. And I think our first game we played it was one and done once you come out of your pool. So once you come out of your pool, you have to win every game in order to go to championship. So we played Wisconsin, and I think we're going, and I think at the end of the third quarter or somewhere halfway through the third quarter, I think we're down like over 20 points, maybe 25 points. So we were down like 25 points, and then I called a timeout and I just gave it to our kids. So because we were getting out rebounded and stuff like that. So I gave them the little motivational speech, a little bit of swearing in there, got a little upset with them. Told them that like we're warriors, we're the sit to be